morning to everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the last day of May's edition of Island Tea and Summertime. I don't know how much of the studio you can see. Maybe you can see the beach ball hanging from the roof, the 22 that signifies WINN's 22 years of service and in existence. The towel over there that sends us to the beach. Oh, you even have the what is it called? Scuba diving.
Oh, yes, the gears.
Yeah. So,
yes.
And then we have our glasses here that looks like a pineapple, a strawberry, and a green raspberry.
I am just thinking, beach vibes. You
Indeed.
just sipping your whatever drink you want to have. It could be a cold glass of water in this, and you're just sipping, and you're just watching the waves.
What's in your cup stays in your
yes.
cup. Yep.
And in fact, I was wondering, just to match the decor, if we should have been in our beachwear, but I said it might not have been appropriate.
What? How? We were advised to do beachwear, but I'll do beachwear on Monday when I don't have to dress up for auto work,
Yes.
So Monday, look out for me in my beachwear. Yes, I'll be coming to work beach ready.
Yes.
I brought my sunblock, but I decided not to add it to the to the decor.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I wonder if we can be, we could snorkel for news, we could snorkel for opinions. These are an interesting way to, it's hot already, you know what I mean?
Oh boy, just to walk across, I got dropped right there, and just to walk from the end of the building on the opposite side to this building is like, geez.
Yeah. Look at the shells out on the table, just
we got
giving
shells,
us
we got rocks, we got
the beach vibe.
It certainly is. And summer, they say summer begins when the sun reaches the summer solstice in Taurus and ends when the sun reaches the autumnal equinox in Virgo. And it is the longest season, lasting 94 days. And I don't even think it's going to... They said the longest day in summer is June 20th or June 21st. That's when the solstice, that's when the sun reaches highest. But I think the sun has reached its highest. If it gets higher, then we will definitely be in problems. But it is the season of summer, the longest one of the year.
Yes. And I mean, so many things, the heat has been on for some while. We don't even have to wait for summer for us to feel this heat. The heat has been on for a while. And we do hope that, we hope that we get some cooler days, But
we have to wait until November. Because remember, they said this heat is going to go until October. And then last year, they said it was going to end in September, but I think it went down all the way to November. Oh, boy. Woe is us.
Yes. So you know what you can do. All we can do to combat the heat is to make sure we're well hydrated, make sure that we're in cool environments, make sure that we do not go into the sun, in at times that we don't need to,
But if you go in the sun, we sunblock. We put on our sunblock. So the meteorological start of summer is tomorrow, Saturday, June 1st. And we're not going to be in studio, so we are starting summer for you today on the ending of May. And then the astronomical start of summer is June 20th.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a meteorological and an astronomical. For all the seasons, as a matter of fact, for spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we're keeping everything interesting here. I mean, imagine, because it's going to be hot, instead of having tea, we have one of these cool drinks in the morning. What are you going to put in your drink?
I just say water because, technically I have some water here. Just to start the day. We got to start the day fair. We can't start the day with some happening drinks because that's full of sugar anyway. Remember, we don't really start the morning too sugary.
Yes.
We leave the sugar for the middle of the day when we can work it off.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say some water. And then if we were on the beach, then I would have a nice little Caribbean rum punch right in there. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Those days. Or maybe a little tip of some Killer Bee. Yeah, a little, not a lot.
So you're thinking on the beach with some Killer Bee.
Yeah, some Killer Bee, some conch fritters, some fries, my sunblock, and a nice towel, and just relax. R&R on the beach. When
rest and relaxation.
Yes, and when tourists come here, they'd be like, "You have a beautiful island," and I find that we do not enjoy our beautiful island. Why are we need to go out there? We need to be tourists ourselves. Enjoy.
Indeed.
Go as the taxi operator admonished us yesterday. Go around the island, learn things. I've been around the island a lot of times. Funny enough, I don't remember a lot of things that I would have learned, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just go do something nice. You don't have to be a tourist to do it. You can be your own local tourist. Just like how we
Exactly.
talk about all these staycations and all these things. We can keep doing our staycations.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So as we look at some of the highlights, I'm seeing here Guyana election fraud trial to begin on July 29th.
Oh boy.
So after a 3-year delay, the trial into the alleged electoral fraud by former senior functionaries of the Guyana's election body is now set to begin on July 29th before City Magistrate Leron Daly. And it says the trial faced numerous delays, but it is now clear to begin following a ruling by Chief Justice Roxanne George. She ruled that the constitutional rights of the former Chief Election Officer Keith Lauren Field and his deputy Roxanne Myers to a fair trial would not be violated by the Representation of the People Act, which prohibits disclosure of Guyana Election Commission meetings. So with this ruling, Daly received the green light to proceed with the hearing and determining the 28 criminal charges related to the 2020 election. On Wednesday, the case was brought before Daly at the Georgetown Magistrate Court for reports. During the hearing, Special Prosecutor confirmed that the matter is ready to move forward. The hearings are scheduled for July 29th to 31st and August 5th to 6. Some of the witnesses expected to testify include Minister of Local Government, the Minister of Local Government, the head of the Diaspora Unit, and the former Region 4 Police Commander and a forensic investigator. Mm-hmm.
And I look around and I see these election stories and everything around the world looks almost the same when it comes to election. And I see parties having conventions in Jamaica and other countries. I'd be like, okay, this election system is all the same, and there's gonna continue to be unfairness.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just can't. I can't with elections. Like I'm listening to Trump get the guilty verdict yesterday. What do you think of that?
Well, I didn't get a chance to listen that as yet. So
And
many things have been going on.
lots, and that's why I think things are in the forefront to distract us while stuff happen in the background. And another American sentence for bringing ammo to the Turks and Caicos has been sent. He got a chance to go home. His sentence was dismissed. He was fined $9,000, so he was fined a bit more than Brian Higerich. That was the previous one that was fined $6,700, and he is on his way back home to his family. So his family is probably overjoyed and happy to hear that he is on his way home. And remember, his bullets, Mr. Renrich bullets, were inadvertently left in his possession after a day of shooting at the range with his friends.
Yes.
Yeah, so he must be happy. His family must be happy. Folks, just shake your bags out. Look in all the crevices, the nooks and the crannies and everywhere. Even the grandma said she didn't know about those bullets in her bag. She was actually shocked. So she too is on bail along with all the other Americans waiting to either be sentenced or given a fine and sent back home to the U.S. Yeah, I hope it's favorable for all of them.
Yeah. As you indicate, Donald Trump, here he says that jury finds Donald Trump guilty on all 34 counts at hush money trial. Wow. So Donald Trump became the first U.S. president to be convicted on a crime on Thursday when the New York jury found him guilty of falsifying documents to cover up a payment to silence a porn star ahead of the 2016 election. After deliberations over 2 days, the 12-member jury announced it found Trump guilty on all 34 counts he faced. Wow. Trump watched the jurors dispassionately as they were polled to confirm the guilty verdict. The verdict plunged the United States into unexplored territory ahead of the November 5th presidential elections, when Trump, the Republican candidate, will try to win the White House back from the Democratic President Joe Biden. Trump, 77, has denied wrongdoing and was expected to appeal. He faces a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison, though others convicted of the crime often receive shorter sentences, fines, or probation. Incarceration would not prevent him from campaigning or taking office if he were to win. Opinion polls show Trump and Biden, 81, locked in a tight race. And it says here that the Worcester's polling has found that a guilty verdict could cost Trump some support from independent and Republican voters. The jury notified the court they had reached a verdict at 4:20 p.m. and read out all 34 counts guilty shortly after 5.
Let's just boil it down. The gloat is guilty.
And he's just going to pay a fine. He's not going to be incarcerated for 4 years.
The gloat. Y'all not going to ask what the gloat means?
The greediest.
No. I'm not even going to.
Greatest liar of all time.
Oh, okay.
I like that one,
yes,
Jamster.
Yes.
But do you really think they're going to incarcerate him, Jamster?
So, well, we'll find out on July 11, won't we?
And he getting to pay a big fine, that's all. I doubt they're going to send a former president.
No, but you see, therein lies the problem. Just because he's a former president,
then he has certain pardons.
Should make him inviolate, like.
It shouldn't not, but you know what
But you know what this says? Look at this. It says polls show that Trump and Biden locked in a tight race. He also says that the polling found that a guilty verdict could cost Trump some support. Could cause him some support. So he didn't say
he wasn't going
to
win. He wasn't going to win anyway.
A great loss or great loss of support. But they said some support could be lost.
He wasn't going to win even without being
You don't think so?
No. Can't win.
Elections? You really think so?
I think so.
Because how this is looking to me is like these people want Barabbas and not Jesus. Because everybody seems to be hoping for Trump to get back in as big celebrities and everybody.
If he wins, the U.S. is finished. But I don't think he can. I don't think he can win.
Democracy will be lost. Oh boy, then everything will go haywire, and then it trickles down to us here in the Caribbean. I just wish those things did not affect us as much as they do.
I just wish you would just go away. I mean, the narcissism.
According to the Simpsons prediction, it's not time yet.
What did they?
Have you looked? Have the two of you paid keen attention to everything that the Simpsons cartoons has predicted? All of them have so far came true.
I saw a new video.
Coincidence?
I saw a new video for 2024, but I haven't watched it. It's kind of long, so I'll probably do it Saturday.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but I didn't watch it.
It's not his time yet, according to the Simpsons, because every other thing they would have predicted happened.
I'm seeing here, May 2nd, 2024. I see the Simpsons predictions on Biden death and nuclear war are fake. That's what somebody said. Fact check. So
yeah, almost everything that would have happened on The Simpsons has happened thus far, including the smartphone. Everything they have predicted, if you've been paying attention to them, has happened. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but it has happened. I see another article here said, and this is not good for us here, the St. Kitts Agriculture Department monitoring mango tree disease outbreak. Not when it's mango season.
Oh God, no, not my favorite fruit.
I know.
Yeah,
so it says the plant
after our mangoes.
I know the plant quarantine unit at the Department of Agriculture in St. Kitts and Nevis is closely monitoring a recent outbreak of a disease affecting mango trees on the island. In a statement, the unit acknowledged the serious impact of the issue on local agriculture, emphasizing their commitment to identifying the cause and developing an effective treatment plan. It says, our team, end quote, our team of plant health experts have been working diligently to diagnose the disease affecting the mango trees. The unit says the initial assessment suggests that the symptoms align with anthracnose, I think, a fungal disease that can severely affect mango fruit production and quality. No! However, the exact cause remains unknown, and experts are actively investigating its origin, transmission, and potential control measures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need them. We need not in our mango season.
Exactly.
I know, absolutely.
Oh boy!
And
Yeah,
mango is one of my favorite fruits as well.
know.
Don't mess with my
everybody
mangoes.
They can't be taking our mangoes like that, you know.
Not at all. Not at all. We cannot have that.
And in Vybz Kartel news.
Yes. I heard somebody spoke about that yesterday. So go
Yeah.
ahead, Jamster.
Well, dancehall star Vybz Kartel and his co-accused Sean Storm Campbell and Andrew St. John were denied release on Thursday after a judge rejected the habeas corpus application filed on their behalf. It says the Observer reported that a contingent of members of the Jamaica Police Force and Jamaica Defense Force was stationed outside the Supreme Court in downtown Kingston on Thursday afternoon. Izzy, let me ask you, given the fact that the judge has rejected that, does that mean that the final... I don't know if this is...
What do you mean?
Explain the habeas corpus thing for us.
Well, usually that's a writ requiring a person under arrest to be brought before a judge or into a court,
Okay.
especially to secure a person's release, unless lawful grounds are shown for their detention. You understand? So it's just in an instance where they are requiring his release. Remember, they said they're going to take it back to have a retrial.
Oh, they announced that?
No, remember they said that.
Yeah,
based on my understanding, and I'm trying to recall.
They're trying to determine whether they're gonna by June 10th.
Yeah, remember, they had the whole juror situation. They said, okay, then it cannot be seen as being fair. They're going to put it back down for the court to reconsider, going forward with another trial, probably. I'm guessing all they try to do in this aspect is to try to release him until that trial has been...
until if they decided whether they're going to have a trial, I'll let him go. Yeah. So that doesn't necessarily mean they are or aren't going to let him go. It's just a matter of the judge waiting until...
Yeah, because remember they're supposed to go back to the Court of Appeal and to have the process done again.
Yeah.
So until then, remember there was some person saying free him while that is happening. So this appeared to be an attempt to do so, to free him while the court is still determining what is going to be the next step.
Okay, I get it now.
But they decided no. Let's hold on to him until...
Yes.
Wow.
Lawyers are good for something.
Yeah, we're good for something, man. Even in our best days, because I've had a long week, and like this morning I came and I was like, I have just a little headache. When you have that little headache that it's not overpowering, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm on a low energy this morning, but I'm still trying to hype it up,
Friday's low energy.
Yeah.
We have a call. Caller, it's 8:26. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning to everybody. And
oh, God, here we go.
Good morning, Greg. How are you?
Good morning, Trevor. Don't blaspheme the name of the Lord.
That's not his name. That's just a title.
It's a name still.
It is
a name. Yes.
Okay.
Woodley is a title, isn't it? Still a name.
All the people who want to kill me know where to find me now.
Okay. You forced me to let you out.
Oh boy. Jamster, don't say anything else, please.
You know what? Just say Jamster's face in here.
Oh, invisible man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is that, and me and Jamster just argue about it. I said last time we argued and voices.
Okay.
Yes.
Where Trump is concerned, I prefer to have that kind of president than a president like Biden, Obama.
Jesus will get you, Gregory. Now you're doing wrong things.
Well,
Gregory, sorry.
Gregory, why?
Well, hear me out.
Okay,
let's hear you
I
out.
don't let me take back my words and say I prefer that. But let me say
Man,
this.
you would fit right in with the Christian right in the U.S. Oh my God, listen to you.
Well, once there's scriptural, I have no problem. Anybody who fits in with the Bible, I have no problem to fit in
So
with
is
it.
there any
But what I'm saying-
scriptural
What?
basis why you say you prefer Trump?
On what scriptural grounds
I
can
don't-
any of Trump's actions
Okay.
be considered right?
Let us hear what Greg has to say, and then
Yeah,
we
I'm
can.
going to take back the word and say I prefer. Let me rephrase and say this. Trump is the least evil of Biden, Obama, the Clintons, Bush, and Reagan. Trump is the least evil out of all of them.
Wow.
Well, it is between him and Biden now, which Trump is the least of the two evil. Too evil.
Bro.
The reason why I said it, what Trump has been found guilty on, and by the way, they're going to be an appeal, eh? They're going to be an appeal. What Trump was found guilty on was to do with domestic stuff, hush money. That is what it was to do with. What Biden them, Obama, the Clintons, the Bushes, and Reagan, what they have done, unlike Trump, is go in other people's countries, overthrow and kill the leaders, and set up the puppet government. We know they did that to, I think it was Honduras, I think. But we also know they did that to Libya and Iraq, and tried to do it to Azard in Syria and other places. We know they also set up the puppet government in Ukraine in 2014.
So Gregory,
Trump
what
didn't
about
do that.
what about the statements that have been made by former president that he's going to grab them by those statements are in line and
Again, you can't, even a statement like that, you can't compare to what I just named the others also. But that statement is figurative, it's not literal.
And the fact that he was
It is
he was going to
figurative.
sell secrets to enemies of his country, where people are fighting for his freedom.
You
that
got
still makes him
you got
less
AZ
than a-
guzzling his tea here.
Look here. What you're accusing Trump is statement, and even that one which we selling enemies thing. What you're accusing, and even that one we selling enemies, because a lot of what is said in the media about Trump is lies too. Eh?
Oh,
And so I would have to
Says who?
verify that last statement that you say he said such. I would have to verify it. Because I know one time, for example, on Voices, Socrates said that Trump said he's going to bomb Anguilla. And when I challenged Socrates to produce me the evidence, up to now, I'm still waiting for it. And that was a good while ago. A lot of statements that said on Trump, a lot of it is really lies. But even if that was true.
Can you name
But
one?
even if
Can
there
you
was-
name one,
Hello?
Gregory? Name one. Just name one.
Name one what?
Name one lie, other than that Anguilla thing. But that Anguilla thing, Trump was making a point, and I'm not defending him. He didn't say he was going to bomb Anguilla. He was just trying to make a point. No. I want one thing that Trump is accused of that isn't true.
Well, to the best of our knowledge and investigation, and so that went on. You remember they were saying.
Please
that
don't lump
Trump
us in. Please don't lump us in. Don't lump us in with your estimation of knowledge, please. The best of your knowledge, not us.
Remember when the media, including WINFM, because we have that with backers and some WINFM concerning this issue.
Lie,
Remember
please.
you
Trump, lie, please. Just one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going to say. Remember when you all were saying that Trump, yes, you all, including Win, because I had to deal with backers with the same issue, because you all were repeating the same lie. Remember when you all were saying that, and when I say you may mean you personally, Jam,
No,
the radio
I
station.
get it, yeah.
Okay. So remember when you all were saying that Trump had called certain countries S.O. countries, okay? Based upon the evidence, only one person in that meeting said Trump said it. That's Dick Durbin. Everybody else said, no, we ain't hear Trump said that. But not only that, Dick Durbin is known as a liar. Because one time during the Obama presidency, Dick Durbin accused, because Obama called him both Republicans and Democrats in the same meeting with him. And they had a meeting. And Dick Durbin, after the meeting, said the Republicans said something. I forgot exactly what. And Obama himself, Obama representative himself said that what Dick Durbin said wasn't true. So Dick Durbin is known to be a liar.
Okay, Gregory, tell me 3 things where you support Trump over
No, hold on.
Biden.
I do not. Hold on. I do not support any of them because I do not support evil.
So then why come
But
on
then you
here?
say-
But then why come on here
But then
and
you
and
sound like
and
you're a
and,
Trump
and,
supporter.
and sound like you're boosting Trump?
Because I am correcting
Correct.
some of the falsehood that has been said about Trump.
But why
I will
would
do that
anyone
again. I
want
will
to
do that
correct
for
false?
me.
That's like correcting
Do you
falsehood
think
about Hitler,
Biden
as far as I'm
and
concerned.
the Clintons and the Bushes and the Obamas are going to go to Puerto Rico and throw paper towel at people just because they had a disaster? No, they're going to hand them out. He's just not a good man. He's just not a good man.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. If Trump did that,
He did. If he did that, there's video proof, Greg. He did that.
Did you see? Did you see?
Okay, which is what? Hold on, let me ask you a question. Which is what? Doing that?
Oh God.
Are going in people's countries, killing the leaders, overthrowing the leaders, and setting up puppet government in their countries. Which is the worst?
Trump is still bad because Trump separated families and kids cannot see. Kids still cannot see or find their parents on to know. So everybody does their part. But you're defending Trump. You're making everybody else look bad. I'm not saying everybody didn't do their share.
No, I am trying to put things in the right perspective.
Hello.
And hold on.
Greg?
Nothing is wrong in defending somebody
Greg?
if they're correct or not.
You are defending a terrible man.
Greg?
But what I'm saying, you all are defending who are even worse than Trump.
But we
No, we weren't.
weren't defending
we were
anybody.
denouncing. We were
You
denouncing
all are
Trump.
defending Biden.
No, we were
Hold on,
denouncing Trump.
Wasn't you actually say they want Barabbas over Jesus? Comparing Biden to Jesus?
yes. Well, right now Trump is looking like a serious Barabbas.
Hold on. Well, the others them have long time made themselves look forward.
But Gregory,
And
what
not
I
only
find,
that-
Gregory,
But they would never
Gregory,
send anybody to mash up the
Gregory,
Capitol
Gregory.
and kill leaders and do all kind of stuff
Gregory,
like that.
No,
What I
Trump ain't
find-
send anybody to mash up. Oh yeah, that's
What?
another lie again. The
Oh,
January
my-
6th thing is another
How
lie.
could you
Because
have art-
Trump told the people them the day before and the same day, hey, go and march peacefully. Trump ain't send anybody to march up in the Capitol.
Wow.
The audio is there where Trump
So
told
then
them,
why
hey,
did he
go
even
and
send
march
them there?
peacefully.
Gregory,
Eh?
Why did
Greg.
he even send them there? He lost fair and
To march
square.
peacefully, to make a
Greg,
stand, to
we
march
have to
peacefully,
take
to
we have to
make
take a
people go to
break,
church,
right?
to
But
march.
Greg, we have to take a break. But what I find unseemly is you're always
But
coming
before-
on here with Jesus this, Bible that, and here you are taking time out of your day to call and boost Trump. I do not understand
Let
it.
me ask Gregory a question.
I am correcting the falsehood and
Why is it worth? Why is it worth taking up the 6 minutes or so that I know we now can't get back to boost that guy? I mean, come on.
Gregory gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted the answer. I wanted Gregory.
He can't.
If it
so you want
was
to know.
November 5th today, and you're an American, in America and you're voting Trump or Biden, who will get your vote?
Obviously Trump, the lesser of the two evils.
It'll be interesting to hear his answer to that.
Yeah.
He would say Trump.
Probably tie himself in knots. Okay, let's take a quick break and come back.
Come make we take a one. Light up a big spliff. She can say, what's up? Tell the goat that pants up. Me a play.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Your bill.
I'll get it. You paid for gas.
You bought the groceries.
Does the lovely couple have first pay?
First pay?
Don't split hairs. Split the bill with First Pay from CIBC Caribbean. The simplest way to transfer money. No account number needed. With a mobile number, email address, or QR code, you can deposit funds directly to their CIBC Caribbean account and make sharing simple. Just First Pay it with CIBC Caribbean.
It's new and only at ICWI, the insurance company of the West Indies. Receive free windscreen cover when you purchase your third-party policy with ICWI. You heard right. Free windscreen cover with your third-party policy for only a limited time. If you're a third-party policy holder, take advantage of this limited time offer and switch to ICWI for added protection. Isn't it time you experience insurance the ICWI way? Conditions apply. Click, call, or visit ICWI today. Visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road. Call 465-8753 or ICWI.com.
No, 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 no. Drop, people, are you ready?
Hey, with that's a little taste of Pumpa. He's going to be here for Sankey's Music Festival. We're sending you a check, Sankey's Music Festival. Anyway, Pumpa, petitioned by way of the VI. That's on Travis Worrell's brand new rhythm.
Another 10,000 outside the stadium. In the streets of Carty.
So what you guys say?
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's very
so
catchy.
we have 2 comments here.
Mm-hmm.
It says, one says, the caller is right. You all are warped-minded, stuck on colonial politics. What is the democratic good for? Handout. And then some other person says, this man is a mental case. Give him his own show so we don't have to listen to him. I don't understand. So we are warped. What warped? How are we warped? What did we do? We were just talking about Trump and his guilty verdict.
But they are going to be they're persons who support Trump. That's
Which
how
is
it
crazy. Because this man is going to take us all out eventually if he could. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to you guys, man.
Hey, Burl, how are you?
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. My thing this morning is, only in America you can have a former politician tried and found guilty. When that happens in St. Nevis, call me and let me know.
But listen this before you do that plug. Tried, found guilty, but still is possible to be president. Tell me about that one.
And it might even be overturned at appeal.
Thanks for that addition.
Yes.
But also can be overturned on appeal.
Azard,
yes.
I think his likelihood of becoming president again is a little bit slimmer now.
You think so, Burl?
It's a little bit slimmer now. Believe that. Believe that. The people that he's gonna get really to vote for him is gonna be his base.
Okay.
So Jamster, I'm on your side, man, with that one.
But
but
you know, I mean,
Azard, being that Azard is a legal mind in the studio there, come to the Trump case, right? The evidence is surmountable, bro. You know what I'm saying? The evidence is there. He cannot get away from them facts, bro. And the part about the decision, I wanted Azard to elaborate on is the sentencing part that's going to come up next in July.
Well, I have to look at that because I didn't look at it in depth. In fact, it was mentioned by Kortensia this morning. I read the article, but I haven't looked at the sentencing as it relates to what is presented before. It's been a busy time for me in practice as well.
He's gonna get a slap on the wrist because he wasn't convicted. He don't have a record. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't have a record, and the first time around for you, you're gonna get a light sentence.
And the thing about it, even though the U.S. laws are similar to ours, there's still some differentiation. You understand? And they do things somewhat different to us in certain aspects. So it's to understand what.
In regards to that, in regards to that, he's on the lower side of the punishment. He's on the lower end. It's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be that serious.
But
it's not gonna be that serious.
But here's the scary part, right? It might be overturned on I mean, anything is possible with these crazy people we have on the Supreme Court. I mean, you heard about Alito. You heard about Justice Alito.
Before I get cut off, man. Different than that, there's been some lawsuits filed in Florida, and I know there's another one that was filed in the court in St. Kitts to vacate them passports with that prison project. If we can have any discussions about that case that was brought by MSR, because it's going directly at the corruption that I've been talking about that's happening in St. Kitts. We want to get some discussions about that.
Yeah, I mean, we could see what person's thoughts on it. Basically, the essence of it is the underselling of the, what we said the passport, the value, the citizenship by investment, and then afterwards there is the racketeer. They're doing it in the U.S. through that application, and then afterwards you look at
why is this going into a foreign jurisdiction, man? And lastly, you know, is this?
No, that's where Martinez chose to
I think he
file,
because he's going based on what is law there in the U.S. that would govern practices such as that. And so that's also, he has the matter for judicial review here in the court for them to declare, you know, that there was some underselling, and that, you know, to revoke those persons who would have received citizenship on the.
Yeah, and lastly, before I get off, is this? Can we term this as a scandal at this point? Because, you know, we know the present administration had a lot of critique about the former administration about scandals. And also the AG, right?
The what?
Is the AG going to examine this to see if there was any criminal element in this situation?
Oh, good
That's
question.
all I wanted to ask.
But
I listen off the air.
know, when it comes to criminal element, it is the DPP's office that is responsible for the criminal aspect. I mean, I guess the AG could highlight, but ultimately the decision is for the DPP and that investigative body that he has as well, the police force and everything. If you look at the matter that was filed, the pages is up to 100 and something pages. If given in its simple form, it speaks about the CBI, it speaks about citizenship by investment, and on the selling of those two individuals. I mean, we could perhaps we would have to really take time out and dissect it, and that would take a whole show.
But also, I guess when the case comes up in the court and it starts unfurling, and we can also follow it, you know.
Yeah.
But I really, honestly, don't have a lot of confidence in any resolution that that is going to be satisfying to right-thinking people. Honestly,
oh boy,
I don't. Caller, go right ahead.
You know, Dwight Stefan was on the Narrative speaking about it. I saw the interview. Yes.
Caller, go ahead.
Yes, I heard Vybz Kartel on Narrative. I also heard the PLC press conference yesterday. It doesn't surprise me, but what seems to be the line of defense is that I know nothing about it. You know that Premier Brantley has pretty much washed his hands of it. So he don't know what went on in cabinet, essentially, a cabinet that he was supposed to be part of. And now Dr. Harris has declared at the press conference he does not know anything about any underselling. Now, the caller before asked if this had reached scandal proportions. Of course it has. The problem is we have not identified the scoundrels yet, okay? Because it seems as if everybody's going to fall back on the position that they don't know anything. They don't know what was going on. Well, who knew what was going on, or who supposed to have known what was going on? And if you were supposed to have known what was going on and you didn't know, then that's incompetence. And you have no right being in government, okay? Or anywhere near the National Assembly, right? With regards to Trump, I would not be so clear-cut. You know, the conventional wisdom will tell us that in the fair analysis, when they go in to cast their vote, Americans would say that, hey, this guy is not our idea of what a president should be, okay? But there are so many intricacies involved in this. One of them being the fact that they don't like, it doesn't seem as if President Biden has been able to convince Americans that he's best for their country. And when you have a choice of two, what do? you try and choose the lesser of two evils.
But don't you agree? Don't you agree? Just based on even the surface level assessment of Trump versus Biden doing a terrible job at letting people know what he's done for the last 4 years. Don't you think that alone works against Trump? I mean, Mr. Biden, I don't think has brought the presidency into disrepute, and that's putting it mildly.
No, he hasn't. But you know what this reminds me of? Carter was such a he brought, shall we say, morality into the presidency.
Facts.
Right? He was a good guy. But he lost. You know, it's like the good guys finished last.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Good example.
Huh?
Good example, actually.
Yeah. Right? And Biden may be facing pretty much the same thing because even though Trump may behave like a gangster sometimes, there is something that draws people to that kind of. It's abuse of power, no question about it. But there's something that draws people to somebody who is perceived as a strong leader. Okay, and
sounds like a certain country.
Trump may well take advantage of it. Of that.
I was saying it sounds like a certain country that I happen to live in right now. A few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago.
Which one? Canada?
No, here.
Oh, here.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you know, here have it's
bad from me born and all this kind of crap. And people, and I'll be talking to people, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I love Doug." Yeah, I'm like, "Really? You like that kind of thing?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at our history, we've always gravitated towards the strong man, the autocratic leader. It's always been that. It's unfortunate, but that's how it has been over the years. Okay? And one can argue that what we have now, the kind of polarization and the kind of nonsense that goes on, is a result of that. Right, where leaders, once elected, feel that, well, essentially they can do everything and anything, and their supporters feel they can do no wrong, so they don't hold them accountable. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, we end up in messes like what we have currently.
What mess do we have currently?
Like the CBI thing. Mm. How often we've been saying that this thing should be more open and transparent? Mm-hmm. The currency of
I've heard you say it as well on air numerous times.
It should be like that, but it doesn't happen. Okay, and it just accept it. Nobody protests. Okay, nobody is going to protest until something backfires and we really start to feel the heat. You know, and it's unfortunate that it should reach to that. Mm-hmm. Right? Personally, I blame all of them people, all of those leaders who were involved with the CBI and went about it the way that they did. Up to now, it still has not been cleaned up, and it would not surprise me if the present administration don't go get into the same difficulties that the previous ones did. Mm-hmm. Right? It's unfortunate, but that seems to be how it's going, right? We listen, I think it's today they have the round table.
You're reading our minds.
At 10 o'clock.
You're reading our minds.
Right.
Somebody just mentioned that. Round table at 10 today.
And so it can be interesting to see if this matter is addressed in a meaningful way.
Well, you see,
it's a meaningful way because in the past, journalists have repeatedly asked about CBI stuff, and they've been repeatedly led down some kind of rabbit hole, go somewhere else, right? Mm-hmm. When the answers to questions that are asked should be at the fingertips of the Prime Minister, right? Don't tell me you don't know how many passports you're signed. I find it hard to believe that you're signing a passport. You're the only one who can sign passports. And you don't know how many you sign? Does that make any sense at all?
But you see, these roundtable discussions, and as we know, we're going to have one at 10 o'clock, how very relevant are they if it is that they are current concerns, things that are going on presently, and they're hardly ever touched at these roundtables?
Well, isn't it journalists the ones who ask the questions there? Mm-hmm. They're partly to be blamed for this, because they don't ask the appropriate questions, or they take answers that are essentially no comment, right? And don't follow up and don't they're not aggressive enough. Mm-hmm. In a forum like that, you have to be aggressive, otherwise you're going to get spin.
But Ira,
you're going to get spun as well.
Ira, you do realize that the very format is a disarming psyop, actually, when you think about it.
I agree, but
a round table
up to the journalists.
It sets up
regardless of what forum it is.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you're being disrespectful, but you ask the relevant, probing questions, right? And don't take the kind of non-answer answers that they get. To me, that is what happens, right? They ask a question, they're given a roundabout answer, or answer that is not relevant, or they used to do it to answer, or the other government did this, and they accept that. I don't find that acceptable. You're running an administration. Run the administration and be accountable for what is happening now, not what happened in the past. And you don't justify bad practices in the past by present back, or you don't justify present bad practices by the bad practices that used to happen in the past.
Correct. Mr. McMahon, there have been instances, for example, I'm going to use this example, where journalists ask, well, how many passports have been sold? And they don't get an answer. Do you blame the journalists for that?
Well, I blame them for not being persistent, yes.
But they numerous times they come to different times asking the same question, still no response. Do you blame them for that?
Yes, I do.
But how could they?
Do they at the very next one said, well, you promised that you'll get the answer for us. You still haven't got it. Why not? Right? It's like we're afraid to ask something as direct as that. Why wouldn't they ask a direct question? They're journalists.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you what you're saying. I do think that journalists should ask
But if they don't get the answer,
questions.
right? If they said you didn't answer my question, what's next, Mr. McMahon?
If they said right, at the very next news conference,
they ask the same question again.
Or editorial or newscast say that such and such a politician refused to answer the question asked.
Okay.
Right? Put the pressure on them to get the answer. Don't I dislike when people feel that it's almost like they feel that you're stupid, that they don't realize what you're doing, that people, that you can just run roughshod over people or bamboozle people. That's, to me, that's disrespectful. Okay? And I think there's too much disrespect that's going on now, and it might be tolerated, but because it's tolerated doesn't mean that it's not any less disrespectful, and that it shouldn't continue. Mm-hmm. At some point, journalists and the citizens as well.
And okay, I get you with the journalists, but I think in addition to encouraging journalists to ask the tough questions, you should encourage the members of government to answer the tough questions. There should be some balance in effect.
Well, yeah, but who's going to make them do that?
I do get you. I do get you that they should be consistent, persistent in asking the questions. But at the end of the day, if they continue to ask and they continue to ask and they continue to ask and the ministers refuse to respond, aren't you going to encourage the ministers also to respond?
I need to point out again, the format is a disarming psychological operation. A round table.
Like, come and have tea with me.
Yes, exactly, Azard. Exactly.
We're friends here, you know.
Exactly.
We don't ask your friends they had questions.
Why do I feel, though, Jamster, that would not have worked with you? That if you had been there in the opposite chair, that, you know, you would have gotten in trouble. Shall we say?
Well, I asked Short Dude some hard questions at the press conference one time, and then, you know, he was up there making a thing of, or making notes or whatever, like he was gonna scare me. You know.
Right, exactly.
I remember asking him. So I said, so I don't remember what the number was. I said, so this number is more than that number. You know. I was asking him direct questions because
not only that, but can you? I heard the Attorney General say that apparently there are a number of people who have been approaching the government for information under the Freedom of Information thing. So people have been sending in stuff. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle those. Now, I don't know that any journalist, apart from asking in a public forum, have actually written to ask for this information. Because if they've actually put it in black and white, it's harder to not respond to something in black and white. Because then you can plaster what you wrote all over the media and say the government is mum on this. That does not make the government look good. That's a far cry from the openness and transparency and the accountability that they talk so much about.
So you're saying that news agencies, if they don't get the questions, they write the articles and say government silent on this, keep their foot to the fire.
And follow up with an actual formal request for the information. Right? That's what I'm saying. That's what you have to be. You have to be more aggressive in that line of work. That's the only. Otherwise, they're going to run circles around you.
And you encourage them to run circles around the media?
No,
okay.
You think not, but they get away with it, don't they?
Okay, but
because they keep doing it.
I think, you know, persons like yourself and others should also encourage them to answer the questions and not just try to run circles around persons.
How do you mean encourage them to answer the question?
You know,
I am a private citizen. I don't have the power a media has.
You could write articles.
I can talk. I can.
Yeah, and you have been talking. You have been talking. You have been talking.
What's behind me?
You have been talking, and you can write articles as well. You could agitate. You can come on the radio and say, you know, the specific minister has not answered these questions journalists have asked. You are disappointed in them not answering. You could do so much. I mean, I understand you're a private citizen, but your voice is still important in holding the government accountable.
You know, at the rate...
it would be more important if more people would be more outspoken, right? Because, like I said, that is why it keeps happening, because they get away with it, because they feel that nobody... And it isn't that people don't realize what's going on, you know. It's just that many people are not inclined to stick their neck out for things like that, right? Things like democracy and accountability and integrity and so on. Those are what you call esoteric or you know, mundane stuff that most people feel has nothing to do with their bread and butter, right? They don't make that connection, okay? Right? And again, that's also unfortunate. Right? It's the same kind of thing that you have going on in the States where, although Trump, for instance, might have done some egregious things, some really terrible things, that does not relate to the everyday Americans' bread and butter, putting food on the table and getting a hug. The American, his or her pursuit of the American dream, of owning a house and a car and the 2.5 kids and so on. As long as it don't trouble that, or they think it doesn't trouble that, they're kind of turned off.
But the thing is, at this rate, we should just drink our water and mind our business, because nothing is nothing is ever going to change.
Someone says in this comment that someone says in this comment, Dr. Joe needs to bring the transparency with the CBI program. He needs to bring those stats.
And I don't think any.
Of course, this recent thing should not have gotten there, because now they're saying that they don't know that there was underselling. Well, I find that very hard to believe. Okay?
The same person says that the non-transparency with the CBI has bred this current situation.
Of course it has. And by the way, it has been like that for ages, eh? I mean, as a matter of fact, it started in 1984, I think it was.
Yes.
Who heard of the CBI until around, when it was, 2006 or somewhere around there?
Mm-hmm. That's when it became very popular.
Right. So it has always been secretive, and even then when it became popular, it was, like I said, nobody knew much about it up until now. A lot of people still don't know much about it. There have been incremental changes in the information that is given. I think the previous government put the funds in the consolidated account.
But then let's Mr. McMahon.
But what happens there is that a year after the fact.
Yeah, but Mr. McMahon, it's there from 1984, right? But the level in which, to me, one could also use and say abuse of the program happened when you had so much light on it. It seemed to have been not only heightened but abused in certain aspects.
No. What you're saying that is only when you started to shine light on it you saw the abuse?
No, I'm saying when you light shone on it, then is when you had all of the in terms of the perceived abuse of the program, because much based on what was happening, like being shown on it in that time, based on what was coming through the program, based on the little that we know, a lot of persons are saying that the monies that flowed during that time, Sinks and Nevis should have been in a better place. You understand? So if monies flowed very well during that time, what do we have to show for the monies as citizens? That's why I said there's a perceived abuse.
Should be an investigation, to be quite honest, where we get so many billions and look at how it was spent, because otherwise, what would probably happen? Let's suppose that it continues and we keep getting billions, right? And the sitting governments spend it how they want. Right? We may still end up in the same place where we don't have a lot to show for it.
And at the end of the day, right, we hear about so much things about the CBI. Our CBI on the threat, our CBI is being... Now we see court matters involving the CBI. Why can't the powers that be come out and say, hey, this is what is happening, this is how many passports have been sold, this is what is happening, this is the situation. Why can't they speak first? Why do we always have to find out information through the back door?
Right, you have to twist their arms. I'm wondering if because this can have so many implications for us and other countries as well. If some kind of negotiations, what you all call it in law, settlement out of court made in this instance, because I honestly don't feel that it's going to benefit the country if a lot of these details come out in open court.
Okay.
Right?
We have another call on the line.
But this might be the first time we even be privy to the information,
Yeah.
An opportunity to be privy to what really happened. Yes.
Okay. Caller, good morning.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, good morning to you guys.
Good night.
Good morning, all. I'm listening to you all,
Yes.
and I'm really surprised. Sometimes here in Taiwan, right, people think I'm 22 years old. They say, "Oh, you're young fella, you're 22." Other times, they think, they think I'm older. And when I tell them how old I am, I'm 57 this year, and they say, "Oh my God, it can't be true." But sometimes it's going to be old, Sometimes it's going to be old. CBI, as it is today, was never the way it was when it was brought to law. You've never heard anybody selling businesses, they call it. No, it was never done like that. It started like that when Douglas, then Prime Minister Denton Douglas, got advantage of how he can make money from it. So please do not compare Pam under Dr. Simmons, CBI, or there was even, I don't think it was called CBI. Don't compare that. That is completely two different things. I don't want anybody to mess up nothing with Pam. Pam did in this time. So don't say, it went bad. Nothing that gone bad, no be at all. It was never done like that. If you want information, ask for more information. That's that story. The other thing.
Rusty, before you go on, before you go on,
huh?
I agree with you, and that's why I said, when I said there seemed to have been a perceived abuse after it was highlighted in 2006. You understand? Because the program ran
I got
for
you,
years.
But I don't know the idea about highlighted. It's not highlighted. It was abused. It was blatantly abused by the Prime Minister Denton Douglas. Blatant.
Go ahead, Rusty.
Right. The other thing I want to talk about is the MSR thing. When I came back to St. Kitts in 2016, Rusty Lyman, went to Development Bank on the start loan to try and I came back from Full Sail University. I just finished my master's degree in filmmaking. I went to the bank for a loan to start filmmaking. Let me call it that for now. I was going to the bank days and days, weeks and weeks, nothing. But then I heard this MSR stuff came up with their business idea. And they went to Nevis. I hope you all are listening to the press conference because Nevis Premier said, "Oh, we have a new movie made. It's named so and so, and some platform thing and really good, blah blah." And then he said, "Sink the part of it," and Sink it's got involved. So they know they don't know what's going on. It's nothing new. Because they're in trouble now, there's nothing new. But the strange is that this same case that come up in the United States with this person and they being arrested and stuff. All of them gonna be in trouble, All of them gonna be in trouble. The US is not playing. They're not playing. They call Denzel Douglas name, they call Drew name, and they call your all favorite Prime Minister name, Timothy Harris. The same Timothy Harris they want Pam to go back and join with. Are we crazy? Are we doing the Trump thing? What are we doing? What are we saying? Let me make this last point, because if you all ask me any question, I'll say afraid. This last point, I did say before I left St. Kitts in 2022. Elections will be in 2 years. 2 years. Now, it might not happen in 2 years, I mean 3, maybe 4, I don't know. But advisors to Dr. Drew, they're now asking them to get rid of Denzel Douglas. Well, if all you Denzel Douglas, wait until that ever happens. I'm done now. Any questions?
No.
Yes. Sorry. Before I ask question, I want to one more thing. I want to talk to y'all about the questioning at the. You see, it's not just the round table incident. I remember the same show, the same LNT show had on the Attorney General, and I was dying to ask a question, and I was not allowed in to get the question I wanted to ask him. I wanted to ask him, "Sir, are you not a criminal according to the law? The law says that you should be something to do with criminal stuff." Because I can't take any answer from him. He's a criminal according to the law. the judgment came down from the man named Ian Patches Bible. According to that court filing, it says it clear inside there, but I was not allowed to ask because you're all seem afraid to ask certain questions. I mean, I know talk politics a lot, and the other one from family about the rice. If we had continue doing the rice that we were growing in Sinkins, somehow I might not know what we grow rice in Sinkins, but we did grow rice in Sinkins. Had we work on it, make it the kind of rice that we like, we could have been way ahead. We could have been exporting rice now throughout the whole Caribbean. But nobody I didn't get to ask a question because first of all, when Rusty called, everybody seemed to know Rusty called it. But I didn't get to ask those questions. I asked any question anywhere, anyhow. Douglas, when he was getting rid of but he went the drug guy named Lil Nut. I went to say they asked him a question. Douglas not going to answer them. And Azard, you must know the media first must be upfront asking questions. And if you don't get the answer, ask and ask and ask and ask. Especially in St. Kitts. When Douglas and Drew and Brantley came up here to Taiwan, after they went with the same Chinese people to the United States, United Nations Assembly, I went and I asked the first question: Why do you take United Chinese people to the UN? And you know we have diplomatic relations. Listen, everybody look around and like, that was crazy because they did not know about it. And these journalists, I used to work first I worked in journalism. I did some journalism with Pam and the Democrat, and I did some when Douglas. I used to go to Douglas's press conference. So I'm not afraid to ask anything. You got to understand. You have to ask the question that people need. I don't care how you put them. All right, but I'm listening. Any questions for me?
Rusty, but any of your questions that you would have asked over and over, how long did it take you personally to get the answer now that that's what we're going to ask the media to do once they go and they don't get the question answer in the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth go, etc., etc.?
I'll tell you this. Denzel Douglas has never, ever, ever answered a question of mine. Never.
Oh, boy. So would you...
And the same is true with Dr. Drew when he was here in Taiwan. Never answered the question.
Wow.
Even when he threw the question to Dr. Plus, Dr. Douglas refused to answer. I said, what are the names of the people you carry to the United Nations? Douglas said, everybody know who it is.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. I just give myself a laugh. Yeah? I just give myself a laugh.
So what does one do? What does one do, Rusty?
People don't work on a round table. Huh?
What does one do to get the answer? Because you said you didn't get
to asking the question.
But what if you keep asking and you don't get the answer? How do you deal with something like that?
But you keep asking. You have to keep asking.
Okay.
Up to now, Bill Clinton did not answer if he had sexual relations with Monica Lewinsky. Up to now, he hasn't answered. Okay. You just keep asking and asking because once you ask the question and get it in the public can make their own judgment. Or I could contact you, Kortensia, and ask you some questions. You don't want to answer them. You say no, nothing to the press. That's the press reply.
But can you not say I do not want to answer this question, and that answers the question? Basically, can you not say that?
No, it doesn't answer the question. You keep asking and asking and asking.
Okay, fair enough. Wow.
That's what journalists do.
Yep.
But we have to be fair and ask and ask and ask. You know how long it takes Bill Clinton to say, I did not have sexual relations with that woman? You know how long it takes for him to that? Just weeks they were asking him. Nobody wanted to ask that. And they asked him those questions when he was meeting with diplomats from other countries, foreign ministers, ministers and what have you from other countries. And they didn't care. They didn't say, well, I'm not going to ask you that because that's not the place for that. You can ask any question. Okay. I could go right now and ask Jew, X, Y, and Z. And all you could do is don't answer. We journalists know that. You just don't answer the if you come ask me some questions, I just don't have to answer.
Okay.
I know that. So I'm not afraid to ask a question I don't get an answer. And one time Douglas jumped on me when I asked him a question and he said, well, you don't ask your brother, his sister, something can answer for that. And I laughed because obviously he was probably so high, he didn't know what the question was.
Okay.
He didn't mean my family, he meant another family. But he think I had connections with that particular family. Anyway, let's not go down that route.
Yeah.
But that's the point. We need to ask questions. That's the problem in my country. We don't let the ask, or we can only ask about agriculture because they talk about agriculture. Or we can only talk about health, they talk about health. You could ask anything. I saw your car last night in Barefoot. What was doing up there? You could ask him that.
That seems awful specific.
Okay, it might sound like that to you. It might sound like. Listen, I'm a trained journalist. I am a trained journalist. I get my degree from University of South Florida. I'm a thesis there. Go look for them because what you all don't do, you won't ask these people who say they got master's degree and doctorate where they get them from and who they get them from and what is schooling. One man say he went Oxford and he got a degree. There's a long-time lawyer who gave a doctorate, and nobody knows where he gave a doctorate from, but everybody still call him doctor. This is the kind of things we don't investigate. That's what we don't investigate. I mean, it's a big problem to me. I mean, I'm not embarrassing anybody because they say they're a doctor and they're a real doctor and they think I'm not embarrassing.
Hold on there, Rusty. Caller, join. Yeah. Join us, caller. Go ahead. No, Rusty, hold on. Caller, go ahead.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I wanted to make a comment on the ruling yesterday in the Donald Trump case. About 8 years ago, Donald Trump and several of his followers, the top leaders, were chanting for Hillary Clinton, lock her up, lock her up. And every one of them, I think the first person who started was Flint, and he went to, and he was the first one to go to jail. And every single one of them that followed were convicted. Now, Hillary would have been a misdemeanor. I think her case was, and as you know, a misdemeanor is similar to if you speed or if you get a parking ticket. Those are just misdemeanor. You pay a fine or go to jail, which most people would pay a fine. That's simple. And just about everybody have had a misdemeanor, whether it's a traffic ticket or something like that. But these are felony charges. Every one of them who chanted, lock her up. So I don't play with the law. I don't play with justice and fairness. So it's important to note these things in our everyday lives and how we deal with people, how we hate another people and wish people bad. It does come back. I'm sorry for Donald Trump, but, you know, what he did to Hillary Clinton and all the rest of them who went to jail, it was wrong. Thank you so much. Bye.
And nice to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in a while.
Hi. I will comment on that. I love the law. And I love justice and fairness.
Okay. Have a nice weekend.
Yes.
So, yeah. You guys, let's take a quick break and we shall come back.
So when you see the chop stepping on the place, ring the fire alarm, the fire alarm. Oh, from the time you see the color on the face, ring the fire alarm, the fire alarm. We turn the whole place into a hot spot. No get we mad. Jaja well connected like a hot spot. No get we mad. Heat inside of the place we make a hot spot.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
TVC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TVC Financial Services. We are strong. TVC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
And we are back on Island T, and we have a caller. So caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning. Caller, please call back. But Jamsa, I'm here wondering, right? You would, if we would, we have a call again?
No.
Okay, if we continue to ask the question and then in the long run we get no answer, how does one, what's the next route that one takes?
Well,
and how can we
I guess what they're saying in that aspect is that you continue to ask the questions, even if you don't get any answer, the public will determine the outcome, in the sense that if you're asking for this and you're asking for that, no answer, and then journalists could write and they could say, based on the press conference, ask this question, talks of CBI, questions asked, still no answer. You understand? And let the public decide whether or not they wish to continue with that government or person. Go ahead, caller, we're live.
Yes, about getting stonewalled when they don't absolutely refuse to answer the question. If they actually say that I cannot comment on that, or I cannot answer that, or I don't want to answer that, then that itself leads to another question. Well, why not? Right? And so they'd have to explain, well, they have to say, well, it's a matter of national security or some kind of, or it's confidential or some kind of information. But they don't do that because they know that these are, usually they are questions that the public really should know, and they just don't want to give it. Okay? So that's how, to me, that's what you do with somebody who is stonewalling you and just refusing to answer the question. Apart from, of course, the persistence, right? And remember, it isn't that some of the journalists here haven't been persistent. They've been asking, and they've been promised that they'll get the information from them or direct them to where they should get the information. It's just that it's still not forthcoming. Okay? That is why I say there should be a formal approach. And I just received something which is instructive. It's a quote that says, people don't change even when they see the light. They change when they feel the heat. Okay? And I think that is applicable here. Right? You're not gonna get people to really pay attention, even though they know what's going on and what they should be actually protesting against. But when it starts to affect them personally, that's when you're going to see some kind of action. I just thought I'd mention that in light of what we've been discussing.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your contribution.
Someone asks why we can't have a system here similar to the U.S. where politicians have to stand before a Senate committee and answer questions similar to what is brought up on the radio, similar to the topics that Mr. Astafan brings up on his commentary, similar to the issues that Mr. McMahon raises.
I feel like the country's too small, and
for that?
And yeah, the political pool is too incestuous for that to really work. Honestly, I don't think that would work.
And there's another question that says, didn't the same administration say they were going to have all the statutory bodies and agency audited? What has happened? Or has that happened as yet? Or is it happening?
Well, we don't know, and will we ever know? That's the question.
Boy, that's a question for those who are invited, the journalists that are invited
Hey, listen,
to ask.
the only competence our politicians show around here is how to get the bag. That's the only thing.
Wow.
Literally, because they raised their salaries, they got the bag.
I'm not even talking about getting the bag legally, to be honest.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Ooh, la, la. Ooh.
Let's say questionably at least.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily illegal, but
questionable.
Yeah.
So Burl Jones mentioned here on the YouTube wall, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis need to rally and demand the stats of the CBI program.
Yeah. And sadly, the truth about the prison might only be coming because of this case or what is mentioned in the case. Otherwise, we perhaps wouldn't have known. or still would not even know had it not been for this and the information that is to be shown.
I have a notice here I want to squeeze in before. It's a Water Services Department notice. There are going to be service interruptions from Boyd's to Trinity and Zenway Boulevard, Frigate Bay. The interruption is due to necessary repairs on a damaged valve, and they're working hard to get that cleared up by noon today. So the Water Services Department apologizes for any inconvenience. If you have any questions, complaints, you can call them at 465-8000. So once again, the St. Kitts Water Services Department is announcing interruption in supply affecting Boyd's to Trinity and Zenway Boulevard, Frigate Bay. So that means that whole strip along there with Rituals and like St. Christopher Club and all the way down. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to the phone lines. It's 9:27. We got Fireproof coming up at 9:30. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Jam Show.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I'm here enjoying the conversation. And Azard and the good lady, the queen.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Let me just begin briefly. I just got a call from St. Paul's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of a dwelling place where they lived, the wife told me that they have two houses.
Mm-hmm.
One in the back, a fire broke out in the house, and it burned down because there was no water. So I asked her if they was informed that the water will be turned off.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said that is what they do every night. I said, well, that is not the answer to the question. Because things like that, they're supposed to inform the public that water will be turned off at a certain time. So it gives them a chance now to collect. So I just said to hear that, to let people know, if they know the water is going to be turned off at a certain time, be on the spot to catch some and keep it there. Even if you have to turn off from your job to go home and catch water and have it there for your safety and everything, do that. Now, let me go back a little bit with the history. One of the things that really brought down President Carter was when Iran held 52 Americans as hostage, and 2 Black Hawk helicopters went in the night to rescue the people them, and the helicopters them were too close to each other, and the blade them touched and they came down. And then the whole of Iran know what was taking place tonight. And that made things worse for the hostages. And so President Reagan, he gained mileage over that. And he won the election. That was what was one of the things that brought him down. Now this thing here, what we call questions being asked to politicians, and the bob and weaving and don't answer. The journalists supposed to be in pursuit of them with the question, don't give up. Let them get weary hearing it, and then they're going to say, you know what, let me just give him the answer. And if he give you an answer and the answer is not the truth, pursue again. They're going to get fed up. And they're going to say, to get him off the back, let me talk the truth, and what happened. But when a journalist is going to go ask a question and they're afraid to ask the question direct, that is what the politician looking for. A weak journalist who gonna back down. So journalists has to be strong, consistent, and keep on pursuing them until you get the answer. Don't give up. That's your job. There's one of the amendments in the American Constitution. That is the 5th one. The 5th one, everybody knows it. You have a right to remain silent, but you have a right to talk too, because you are a public figure and you're there to serve the public. Thank you, guys.
Thank you too for your contribution.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
And we move to another call. Caller, go right ahead. 9:31. We got to take a quick break.
Yes,
please
good morning, guys.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Now, culture said that the journalists must pursue. Yes, they should. But remember, if I'm not mistaken, Carol Phillip, who used to work for the Democrat, she used to pursue, and I think after a while, Dougie had banned her from coming to press conference. So the journalists, them up a tree, up a gum tree. It's hard to pursue because after a while, the politician can ban you from coming. Come ask any question. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you for your contribution.
But that's bad, though. Why should you ban somebody that's being persistent? They're just doing their job. They're actually just doing their job.
Okay, and on that note, 9:32, let's go take a break, hear from Rams, and we come back with Fireproof.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Looking for something extra? Look no further. Suppligent's got you covered with our Suppligent Shop and Win promotion. You can be the lucky winner to take home one of 3 cash prizes. Just spend $12 or more on any Suppligent Tetra products at your favorite supermarket, write your name and contact at the back of your bill, and place it in the specially marked entry form box for a chance to win big. Promotion runs April 1st to May 30th, 2024. Suppligent boosts you up.
It's 9:34 and it's about that time. It's our Friday morning rendezvous with the St. Stephen's Fire and Rescue Services. We call it Fireproof. Morning, guys.
Hi, good morning, Jamster. Good morning, Kortensia and Azard, and good morning to the listening audience. Yes, we are here today for yet another week, another chance to update you on the events of the St. Kitts and Nevis Fire and Rescue Services, and we would like to hear from you today as to your any input, any thoughts you may have, anything you would like to share with us as a fire service or otherwise that we can deal with for you. Mr. Clark?
Yes, good morning, and to the listeners, everyone in the studios. As Mr. Hud said, we need to hear from the general public. We recently heard a conversation as it related to a fire. They had a fire in St. Paul's.
Yep.
And what was that?
Apparently there's no water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
For the person to out the fire. But then a listener was saying that he remembered the deputy fire chief, that's Timothy. He was admonishing persons. Well, let me quote exactly what he said. I remember when Assistant Fire Chief Timothy was on the show, we spoke about bypassing water mains so that the hydrants can always be live pressurized. But until that time, we also mentioned that persons should keep buckets of water in the event there is an emergency. That was clearly stated, and everyone on the panel did agree to that. So a reminder to the public, prevention is better than cure. And yes, we know that these things are happening, so we must take the appropriate actions to to mitigate that. So, was it that they didn't have enough water? Was it that the fire services didn't get to them on time? What was the problem with that one? I see Officer Clark there smiling.
Well, the matter is under investigation, but based on the reports, yes, the fire truck did respond, and anytime we are moving, there's always water in the plants. Let's get that there clear.
Oh, okay.
But if the water in the plants was to be depleted, the only main source would have been the hydrants. But as the deputy fire chief did indicate that we should keep buckets of water in an event of bathing, flushing toilets, but we're now looking into another major issue, which is firefighting. I'm not only looking...
But how many buckets can you really store for firefighting? Because, I mean, the little...
Because you're saving it for your use.
Exactly.
And then you're going to basically throw all of that on a fire.
And to me, even the ones that you save for your use is insufficient to out a fire.
Well, as much as I would like to as much as I understand what you're saying.
You're talking about large catchment sites of water?
No, not necessarily. Any fire in its incipient stage, that's once it's just started. If you catch it good enough, I think that one bucket of water could do a good for you.
So you're saying store
depending
water,
on the type of fire too.
You're saying store water so in the event that a fire initiates.
Yes, but
you just throw out the water on it one time.
Here's a crazy idea. Is it feasible that given in this time of drought, is it feasible for people to invest in fire extinguishers, so even for fires that don't necessarily need that type of media for extinguishing, they could use the fire extinguisher, like a small one or something?
Well, that is a very, very good suggestion, and we have been suggesting to persons that they do get extinguishers for their homes and smoke detectors, which would alert you that there is a fire even if you're asleep. And you hear that beeping going off, then you know, hey, something is wrong. You get up. If it's something you can deal with, given you have a fire extinguisher or that bucket or bottles of water, then you try and deal with it. But outside of that, it helps to save your life by alerting you to get out of that burning property. I must say, however, that I wasn't aware of the fire that they had this morning. I have no information at all on it as to what would have happened. But we know that we are going through a water problem. And as Mr. Clark said, yes, the fire appliances always do have water. But after that 600 to 800 gallons of water is depleted, then without having another appliance on scene.
How much is that?
Some of the smaller ones in the country have as little as 600
to 8.
And
800 gallons.
100 gallons.
And there is 1,000 gallon truck, that's the big truck in Bastia.
And so when you said persons to hold water or to store water, you're saying for them to do so in the event that the fire starts and you throw the water on the fire before it gets worse, or in the event the fire truck comes and then afterwards it doesn't have enough water and it needs extra water.
Well,
which one?
For this one, it'll be in the case of mainly if the fire is started, because you would be there before us. We don't like the fires and we don't know when they would like.
Okay, just making sure, because I mean, if it was the latter, it would be problematic. Even after 600 gallons or 1,000 gallons,
you 5 gallons out in the
you 5 the gallons in that little thing to bathe yourself and wash your dishes can't help, you understand, unless you have a cool catchment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. At the start, make sure you have water so you could just, if in any event, prevent it from getting any worse.
Yes, and more efficient than the water, I would like for persons to invest in fire extinguishers.
Yeah, because you can't use water to fight every fire. Who's going to throw water on an electrical fire? Who's trying to be a conductor there?
Yeah, we have a caller. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, again, good morning, guys. To the fire, gentlemen, officers there, I would like to know. I remember there was a fire in the Monkey Hill area where some animals got destroyed and stuff like that through the fire. And then I think I heard, I could be corrected if I'm wrong, that the electrical department vehicle with the bucket was used to help to out the fire. I did mention after that there are fire equipment that can deal with that. Have you guys considered after doing your evaluation research on that particular fire, what you need to handle situations like that? That's one. Two, if we are having a water problem, and we've been having water problems for a long time, especially in certain areas, are we not considering when there's a fire, and depending on where it is around there, maybe Monkey Hill might not be good for this, but have we considered getting water from the ocean, the sea? We have the sea all around us, and find a way that we can keep our vehicles replenished with water to fight these. I don't know if there's a seawater fire truck. I don't know. There should be, because they went boats up on fire and stuff like that. Seawater they use to out the fire. But I don't know if you can have a truck on land to do the same thing. I don't know, because maybe salt water cannot work in the regular water truck. Are we considering those? I'll listen off here. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, caller. Thank you for your call. To respond to you about the Monkey Hill fire and any collaboration, yes, the Skelec was there with us, and Skelec, he would have used their bucket truck. There was actually a collaboration put in place with the Skelec department and fire department for some emergencies. So yes, that is in place. As I would have said earlier, though, I wasn't aware of that fire they had this morning, what would have happened. However, fires at that time, given the fact that the water would be off, what most persons do as supervisors, if they are responding and they get to the scene, once they see the nature of the fire and they determine, hey, I don't think this one appliance with the one truckload of water, because there is no hydrant to replenish it at that time. Normally, a backup truck is called. The tabernacle unit would have been the closest unit for that fire, and if necessary, the Bastia unit could have been called. I don't know if any of those units would have responded. Mr. Clark could speak to it. However, before Mr. Clark cuts in, you spoke to drawing water from the ocean. Most of our trucks are equipped to draw water from the ocean, yes. But in most areas, they cannot, let me say not equipped to draw water from the ocean, but they are equipped to draw water. They can pump. However, in most areas, the ocean is not accessible to the truck, because while lifting water, as it is officially called, the lifting distance should only be about 28 to 32 feet. And most of the time, to get to that distance, the truck would actually have to be on the sand, and it would stick on the sand. We do lift waters from pools or any storage area if it is accessible to us, and we do have pumps. Various stations have these different pumps that we can use to pump water from any catchment into those appliances or straight to the scene if it is necessary. But again, I don't know what the condition was. I don't know what the operation there was. And I would allow for Mr. Clark to speak to it if he has any more information than I do.
Mr. Clark?
Okay. Based on our standing operating procedures, they should have, as Mr. Hart said, other stations should have been called in, because based on, I don't know if the officer knew that water was turned off, but one of the first thing you must do when you arrive on the scene, don't wait until the water has been about to be depleted. Go and look for that hydrant to get it connect just in an event. So once the officers would have noticed that the water would have been off, and based on the magnitude of the fire, the type of the fire, the location of the fire, another station should have been called in to assist, but you are left up to the supervisor on duty to make that call. But based on the standing operating procedures, and based on the water rationing that is currently happening in the Federation, once we move, we have to call for backup to ensure that we have enough water ready and available to extinguish fire, and enough men in an event that we have to evacuate and save lives. So we also want to call on community leaders, person within the community to get on board. I'm not talking in general, I'm talking about what happened last evening. Because in an event that there's a fire and water is off, if each one of us in here already filled our bucket with water, can't you assist me? Can't Mr. Gumbs assist me? So Mr. Gumbs' water is only for him? I hope not. So if the community can come together and assist one another, putting aside whatever political preference we may have, whatever denominations, whatever feelings we are carrying, we are now going into the hurricane season, right? So we have both man-made disasters and natural disasters, but we have community disasters as well. So we need to come together and allow persons, to whatever resources that they may have, come together and let's assist one another. And after which, you wish to go along your own merry way, you can do so.
Okay.
But now, in this time of need, we expect persons to come together as a community to assist with any type of disaster or emergency that there may be.
I actually like the way you put that, community disaster, because that's what it is. We have a call. 948 caller, go right ahead, Fireproof.
Good morning. Good morning to the firefighters in the station presently.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a serious observation. The entrance and the exit to the hospital, the road is very smooth and nice. Why is it the road leading into the fire station and part of the road on the inside is badly in need of repairs? I mean, understanding it. I could recall many years ago, a firefighter fell off of the fire truck and the truck wheel went over his head and killed him. I don't see the reason why the yard and the entrance into the fire station is in bad state. It just can't, to me, it's not tolerated. Goodbye, thanks.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you for your call, caller. And the only answer I can give you to that is while the Bastia fire station should be repaired sometime in the future, hopefully those potholes in the yard would be repaired as well. So we look forward for that. But just to go back on a little of what Mr. Clark was saying, Mr. Azard, about the one bucket of water, the 5 gallons. You know, after Mr. Clark spoke, it just drew me back to the time where there were only what we call the bucket brigades. Long before the fire trucks and everything. Once there was a fire in any community, persons would have come out with their one bucket of water, and putting all together could have assisted or would have assisted that time in saving persons' lives and property. So it's a good gesture, a good suggestion for communities to come together in times of needs and help out your brother, help out your sister.
I have 2 questions, and I think I would have asked them before, but I'm going to ask so we can reiterate them. A fire extinguisher has a life of 1 year, right? Or months? Do you remember?
Fire extinguisher?
Yeah.
No, a fire extinguisher can be used for years.
For years, okay. I'm just trying to
10, 20 years.
Okay, because I just want to reiterate that we should make it mandatory that us, people that have our own house and rentals, that they're equipped with fire extinguishers and smoke detectors. If you're building a new house, that should be part of the requirement, a fire extinguisher and a smoke detector, just like how we have buses now, or maybe the buses had them before, but I just would have seen them recently where they have fire extinguisher in the buses. Maybe we can do that for homes.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yes,
make it
and
mandatory.
That's a very good suggestion, and I think for persons went into the students, you are students, it is mandatory for them to have.
So
those
why
stuff
can it be
in them.
mandatory for us? So why should you rent me something that doesn't have something, but somebody, because they're imported and this is what they're accustomed to from whence they come at, why is it different for me? So you're basically telling me you don't care for me, the
Amen.
ordinary citizen, but you care for those persons that are
Amen.
coming.
That's
Because
a very good question, Carla.
Amen. Okay.
no.
Okay, don't get me started on that stuff.
Because I can't understand how you're going to leave me to die, but the other person's going to be alerted to get out.
Exactly.
Well, we have been pushing because it's a part of safety, as you would have mentioned. It's safety for all. And we have been pushing for the building code, to include some of these, just as they are mandatory for hotels and business places to have these smoke detectors and fire
sprinklers, for
extinguishers
Exactly.
in certain areas.
So I have to go to a hotel to not die, or the airport to be safe if they have a fire.
Exactly.
Because then the alarms are going to go off. But I don't have this kind of protection in my rental property or my house that is just might save my life.
Well, what you can do is while you rent the property to protect and safeguard yourself, you can have it installed.
But what if the landlord says I'm damaging their thing and I don't want to damage anybody's thing? Listen, no, you see you? You can't work today, Mr. Hodge. You know why? Because you're basically saying that I have to do it when they do it for others.
Yeah, but remember, without anything legislated to say that, hey, they have to.
So why do they do it then?
Is on you to protect
You don't see.
yourself.
You guys don't see. You don't see they even have the fancy radar speed indicators down in front of Ross University.
You could care less if we die up here. Speed how much you want.
Yeah. Oh, you're driving by to see how much you're driving. Somehow that's only good
It's
enough.
all in the area of the fancy schools and universities, but we just die up here.
Yes,
Speed how much you want.
This sick mentality needs to stop.
Yes, we have to protect ourselves first, because if we don't protect in our investment, what will
But
we
then-
have for these people to come
But
and
then
enjoy?
who prevents the individual from putting in those fire alarms?
You mean for us?
But Izzy, nobody's saying that. We're just saying that the government should mandate it. Just like they mandate it for people doing apartments for them.
Exactly. Make it legal for us too that are going to rent and live in apartments.
But on a point of order, I don't think it was the government who mandated it, but it
The school, yeah, exactly, yeah. That's
Well,
true,
it takes a foreign school to mandate it. Why can our government not mandate it for us
That
to
makes somehow
survive?
that's worse somehow.
Yeah.
The school has to come here and
individuals
say,
could say, I'm not going to rent homes if you don't have the proper safety. Right.
But you see, it's up to us too,
then the
as
other
you're rightfully
individuals
saying.
that want the home to go in, just get up and go into it.
Yes.
So nobody's on the same page.
Exactly.
Same, you see,
Togetherness is
Mr.
the
Clark
issue.
said, community get together, decide this is what it's gonna be.
I mean, you would think that the government would say, okay, the schools are mandating this. Maybe we should go ahead and do this and for example, even make fire extinguishers duty free, just like you could do it for computers.
Yeah.
And then when you consider the fact now we're living under drought conditions.
Exactly.
This would be a great time to incentivize people to get a fire extinguisher so they don't have to use up the water that they have put aside.
Fire extinguisher and smoke detectors.
Right. So you have a fire extinguisher, whether it's a small one or a big one. You don't have to pay even VAT or thing for it to help mitigate against the fact that we have a water shortage. What are these people?
Suggestions here from James.
What are these people? I wonder what these people in Church Street will be doing. Honestly, it has to be said.
What you said, travel?
All these things are basic. Travel, yes.
Oh,
Good one. Yeah, good one, Azard. Azard, they're coming for us. They're coming to arrest us, boy.
Oh boy. You should say Mr. Hodge here, like, what? He doesn't even want to break a laugh or a smile. It's like, no. But no, we have to put in strict legislation that ensures that our building codes are improved. Good morning, caller. Go ahead.
Good morning. Yes, I'd like
Hey,
to
what's up?
in. Several things have come up in the last few minutes.
Okay.
The young lady said something about fire extinguishers, and and houses. But if you at one point it sounded as if she was saying householders should be made by law to have fire extinguishers. There's no need for that. If you don't care about your family enough to put fire extinguishers in, that's bad. The other thing was the contracts between students. Well, I mean, if I, as a clinician, wants to rent a house, and I go along and I say, there aren't any fire extinguishers, but I need fire extinguishers. It's up to me to then say to the potential landlord that I would like fire extinguishers, or I'm going to look for another place. Now, my third point is the traffic sign. And that's my strongest point, because at Ross and the one out at Brighton.
Yep.
For a start, the students, these are adults. These are people who are at least 18, and most of them are over 20. They should be old enough to cross the road without a light telling me to stop. They're not children. They are adults who are crossing the road. Yes, you put a crossing there, and you put a sign up saying it's a crossing. And as a driver, it's up to you to drive safely and carefully. But so my point of view, my biggest point of contention is putting signs outside establishments where adults are being educated, and saying children crossing is wrong. Especially down at camps, you're within, a mile, 2 miles of a primary school of black Kittian children, 5 years for upwards, and there's no signs there. I don't even think there's a sign telling you to slow down that you're approaching a school. Anyway, that's it off my chest, and thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
I often share the same sentiments with that. You find that they stop in vehicles where the traffic, especially coming to buses, stop the vehicle, and you're like, okay, but they're adults. They could just wait until the traffic clears. You have crossing guards crossing adults.
Thank you. And the other thing, but I wanted to kind of respond to that caller. He's saying, no, if people are left to their own devices, for example, a lot of people might not get insurance for their vehicle and stuff like that. So this is why it's important that government mandates certain things. So all we're saying is that, yeah, sure, you can go ahead and go ahead and do it, but I feel like for safety purposes, these are certain things that the government should mandate, especially for adding them to the building code and stuff like that. You know. Let's have another call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning again.
Hey, good morning.
Now, my husband and I here having a discussion after that last caller statement that at Ross University there's a sign that says children's crossing, and we know that's adult. And that the school there is no sign that said children crossing. He is saying that it's not the government just go and put it down. It was requested by the college. If so be the case, then all of the school in St. Kitts should request a children's crossing sign next to it.
The same thing at the hotel, they request the mark.
And he said at hotels, that's what they don't request, that these markings go down.
Okay.
Wow.
So if so be the case to the person that deal.
But for social infrastructure, shouldn't that shouldn't even have to be a request? We have crazy people using the road, and I don't mean to sound this way, but we have people that don't care. They drive at any pace, anywhere, and they don't remember that students are there. So these things should be just put down.
Automatically, automatically traffic should put up those for children,
Exactly.
especially close to the schools.
Exactly.
But what he's saying, the college is the one who requested, and you
And they got
pointed
it.
out that there's none at where children actually crossing by a school. The caller pointed out. So now it's up to the school and the people of St. Kitts to demand that these signs also go up to protect our children.
I think the school that he's referring to is the Bronte
Welsh,
Welsh.
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think there might be a crossing there. And but I think what the emphasis is that you actually have how active the crossing guards are. You actually have active crossing guards
At the schools.
At the Ross University. I'm not say active. I'm not saying that person's in Bronte were inactive, but
they have crossing guards at Ross University.
Yeah, like you really
for adults.
Yeah,
okay.
so
all right.
And okay, they seem to be the most active when it comes to crossing that I've seen in a while. As in, they're stopping your vehicle, they're crossing. I mean, at times where adults could use their own discretion and just see when the traffic gets a little down and just cross. You understand? But
Maybe
I guess
the traffic never gets down. That's why they have crossing guards, because you know how lawlessly some people can drive across that area.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we gotta leave it there. 2 minutes after 10 o'clock, we have the Prime Minister's Roundtable coming up in a few minutes.
Now we encourage the journalists to ask the tough questions
over and over and over again.
Yeah. Oh, and there's Action Corner out by the People's Action Movement today at 6. So if you want any
questions asked, go there and ask your questions and get drinks and everything. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for coming. Have a great day. Yes.
Okay, guys.
All right, take care.